Hello YouTube, and today on this Let's Talk segment of our channel Cars at 100, I wanted to mention the brand new Hyundai i30N that is supposedly gonna come out in Europe soon, and I am anticipating this car here in the United States because of the many reasons, and a couple of reasons I'm gonna cover in this video. First of all, it's the brand new car that is the new competitor to other hot hatches. So it's a hot hatch car as well, hot hatchback, let me correct myself there. And this car has 280 horsepower. This car has 275 pound-feet of torque with overboost, and 280 horsepower comes with also performance package that comes for that car as well. Just like a GTI has a performance package here in the United States, that car has the performance package from the company as well. So what car represents is that the cheapest, I think, hot hatchback you can get right now on the market, and it's a big deal. Why? Because it's gonna be roughly $38,000. It's gonna be under $40,000, and it's gonna be competing with Focus RS. Of course, it's gonna compete with RS3 probably, of course, but I think RS3 is going to be faster. It's also going to compete with Type R, and it's going to compete with other hot hatches already on the market like GTI, Golf R, and other hatchbacks like smaller hatchbacks as well, like maybe Ford Focus ST and the Ford Fiesta ST as well. What does this car represent, and why is it a big deal? Because it was fully engineered on the Nürburgring, and one of the hints that the car gives away is the N letter that has that is at the end of the name of the car. So it's Hyundai i30N, meaning it's Nürburgring, Nimyang, the hometown of where this car is built in South Korea, as well as the N, meaning it's a brand new letter they want to represent, just like the BMW has M, AMG has AMG, but this is something different, and this is something that Hyundai wanted to build and finally come up with. And they were engineering this car for a long time, and they finally are releasing this car for Europe. But I'm anticipating this car to be available for the US market, because I think it's going to be a very nice car here. From the videos that I already watched on the internet, I can tell you right away the car is going to be a lot of fun just from the video, because exhaust sound of that car is just on par or even better than Ford Focus RS. And that's a big deal, because Ford Focus RS has 350 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque. This car just has 280 horsepower, 275 pound-feet of torque. So it's a big deal in terms of the driving dynamics as well. This car is just a front-wheel drive, but I think the driving dynamics and the driving abilities of that car are gonna be taken to the limit, and the driver gonna be tested in terms of the driving, and he's gonna have a lot of fun. One of the biggest and my favorite things about that car is the performance and how you can manipulate that. I've talked about this, and it's so relevant because I've talked about this in a past video for the hot hatchbacks that I made, including 6 hatchbacks. But in this car, you can actually do that very throughout, thorough. Why? Because you can manipulate suspension, you can manipulate steering, you can manipulate how car behaves on the throttle map, and it's just a car that you can really, in terms of the performance, very usable and very accessible, I think, for every type of age, and everybody's gonna have fun with it. And I think practicality is of course gonna be there, because it's a hatchback, so the big deal about this car is that how practical it is as well. And I think I'm anticipating this car to be a very nice car, and I'm sure a lot of people gonna have the same opinion about it as I am. But the brand, the only downside about this is the brand Hyundai hasn't established themselves in terms of the performance just yet, and I think this car could be a good beginning from hot hatchback to very good Genesis cars that they renamed recently. Instead of Hyundai Genesis, they made them Genesis. just the Genesis name. So I think it's a big deal to see how this car is coming up, how this company, I'm sorry, is coming up in the game of high performance. And look out for that car in future. And I think if US brings that car here, it's gonna be a very good addition. I'm sure they might have a better version of it, even more performance, and if they put dual clutch transmission like they do in Elantra GT in that car, it's gonna be even faster. Maybe fun factor maybe gonna be a little lower, but the car is gonna be even more performance wise. So let me know what you think about this Hyundai i30N for the US, for the Euro spec, Europe market, and let me know if you're anticipating this car to be in US, and if you think that car is going to be relevant here, and if it's going to steer any wind. And you know, leave a comment, and let's see when this car is going to be available here, so we can talk about it and compare it to other hot hatches on the market. Okay, with you was Cars at 100. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.